The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with your lovable, squeezably soft host, David White. That is I. And, of course, a very interesting day in the markets. And as we start off every day, we like to look at the actual indexes. And, of course, we're off 19 points on the S&P cash as we speak right now. And I think it's only probably going to get worse. We finally, I think, have had the big break. And if it's any indication of the hysteria when we were down only 10 points on the financial infotainment cable stations, what we're at, done 18, almost 19 points. It is going to be interesting, and I'm actually got a slow computer here at the moment, so we'll figure that out. Oh, actually, it's starting to pick up here, so let's see if I can get some numbers. When I was looking at the numbers for volume this morning, I actually put it in my newsletter, and that was that I thought we'd probably roll over just a little bit after the Grubhub IPO came out this morning. It looked to me like they were doing everything they could to get that fat puppy out the door, and it wasn't very long after all those IPOs started trading this morning, but most notably that Grubhub one, that the markets started to see a little bit of a problem. We were up, 7 or 8 points on the S&P cash, now down 19, so a fairly nice trading range, wide price spread today. And of course, yesterday when we looked at the volume for the first 30 minutes, we had about 240 million shares, something like that, on the New York Stock Exchange consolidated tape. When we look at what we had today, a little bit better, but still horrible. I think it was about 300 million in the first 30 minutes. So there hasn't been anybody jumping in the mornings to buy these. We've seen that for 4 straight days. Extremely light volume in that first 30 minutes of trading. One of the reasons I look at that first 30 minutes is there's an old saying, and that is that the open belongs to the rubes and the close belongs to the pros. People that are, let me put it this way, retail investors, haven't been trading a long time, tend to buy in that first 30 minutes or sell in that first 30 minutes, and it invariably is probably a little bit better in the next 30 minutes. And of course, when those pros put in their orders in the last 30 minutes, those market on close orders, you learn a lot about what they plan to do for the end of the day. But we've got basically 2.3 billion shares as we start the show off, and that tells me, what do we have, 1.8 yesterday? We've got 500 million more shares at almost 2.3 million shares now. And on a Friday, we're going to have probably the heaviest volume of the week. I think that tells us everything we need to know. We've pulled back. Any close below basically 1883 is a minor signal. Anything below 1868 is going to be a major topping signal in this market, and it would be very interesting to watch the volume at the end of the day. Of course, most of these high flyers having a lot of problems, and NASDAQ, of course, taking a heavy hit today. We like to start off each show also with a little bit of history. And when we talk about history today, in 2000, Wall Street had one of its wildest days ever. The NASDAQ dropped to 574 points. Sounds like the Dow today, doesn't it? If the Dow would have fallen that much, even on that day, everybody would have been a little weird about the thing. But we are seeing a market that basically dropped 13.6% in one day. And people are freaking out today because we're down a little over 2% in the NASDAQ. And this was almost 14%. By lunchtime, the Dow fell 503. Now, probably what was the most amazing about this particular day, because I remember it, probably a lot better than a lot of other trading days since. I'd only been full-time trading for, 2.5 years. And I hadn't seen enough of these different market actions. I actually started right before the huge problem in November of '98, and it was a issue. But just the people that they will always push out on those on those financial infotainment cable networks that always say the market's fine, nothing to worry about. Their whole job is to keep people in all the way down. If they start selling, of course, it makes it very hard for the street to sell. And the job of the market, or not of the market, but the job of Wall Street is to push paper out. That is one thing. They want to push it up, and they want to push it out. Push up the price, push it out. A few people, a few hedge funds really get into shorting, but it's a tougher business to be in. If you have all the cards, then it's a lot easier. And in this case, we've had a stock market held up by artificially low interest rates and huge amounts of money flooding into these both broker-dealers and investment banks. But just some of the quotes here from 2000. A lot of nervous Nellies have fled, says Marshall Acuff of Solomon Smith Barney. And we get into things like, nothing has really changed. At midday, declares Charles Prada of S.G. Cohen & Company, we saw the beginning of the end of this correction, technology and stocks. Make that the beginning of the beginning by year, and then the NASDAQ falls 40.5% to 2470. And what I want to impress on you is that we've been going up for a very long time. If we went back and down for 90 days or 180 days, it would not even be a break of the bullish case on this market. So don't get too fired up. I think we could have a very significant pullback, and we'll get a signal when it doesn't. But I suspect that we'll have lines and lines and lines of people to go on CNBC, on Bloomberg, on Fox Business News, on the Sunday shows to talk about it. But we're basically, 20 points off the top, 27 points on the S&P off the top. This isn't even a confirmation yet of a top. And I saw people basically going nuts. The other thing I noticed was that right into yesterday's close, when I fast forward through all my TiVo'd shows that I watch, most of the supposedly great traders were all talking about even higher prices. And this goes into the psychology of not wanting to be wrong in the market. The idea that, and if you go back, it's fairly easy to look at. The NASDAQ, the S&P, those are going to be up about 75% of the time. Now, I'm not talking about amplitude and going higher for a few or 100 points a day. But if we'll say it's up 2 points or 5 points, there's going to be a lot less pain being long than there is short. The problem comes in that when the market does turn, that you don't have a lot of time to react, that most people don't have any real stops set in below, that when those stops hit, that they don't take them and they continue to go lower and lower and lower and take bigger and bigger losses. And right now, it is time to set your stops below and let you know if you don't want to sell everything now, to just go ahead and put a stop in and make sure and take that stop. You can always wait a couple of days and go back into the shares. But the real problem is going to be people that avoid the stops on this pullback. Like I said, this doesn't even make a blemish in a long-term bullish chart. Doesn't even confirm a top today. And in fact, we might even see the top confirmed in the next week. That would be a close below 1868 on the S&P cash. I suspect the way everybody was talking on TV, they're going to try to gin up some buys before the weekend. But 2.3 billion shares. Going to be kind of tough, but that 1868 is what you want to be looking at. Close below that. I'd say that it's going to be very hard for the bulls for the next 30 to 60 days to get any kind of huge movement. And of course, there's always that rotation of the market argument that everybody's been making. We see that that has failed. But what we have seen is not just the NASDAQ, but these stocks with the weakest of arguments for higher prices being pushed. Things like Tesla. Tesla's selling at valuations that they shouldn't have for 10 years. That means if you sit on it, hopefully it's still worth $220 10 years from today. And that doesn't even take in inflation, so probably a loser. We also see stocks like Grubhub coming out today. And I'm probably going to talk about it more in the 4 o'clock hour Tom O'Brien. But the valuations on that, it does make money, but it's like trading at 270 times earnings already today. 270 times. That means, of course, I'm going to give you $270 and you're going to give me back $1 of profit. This doesn't seem like a whole lot in there to actually get anything going. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. Dollar index hasn't really moved a great deal today. I was thinking that we'd probably get a little bit more push from that maybe on Monday or Tuesday, but we'll continue to watch this. But I imagine that a lot of buyers coming in at 1868 today, and we'll see whether or not they can weather the storm of the last few minutes of the close. You can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. Appreciate your call. And again, I'm in the studio today, so no emails. You will have to call me or post a message in the den if you want me to look at something. So we will continue to look at that, and of course probably look for the first leg down and whether or not you want to try to time everyone on these. But I think you've got probably, when we have confirmed the top, 60 to 90 days before that first leg in the bottom actually even comes in. So I think we've got plenty of time out here if you've got positions and you've already entered those positions today. Kind of tough to chase a market like this on the downside, but a lot of those stocks have already given it up. Other things of interest here are continuations of the Flash Boys issues. Don't have enough time to really get into it now. We will get into it in the next little segment here, but I think an interesting post note to what happened this week on CNBC and the Flash Boys controversy. Anyway, we'll be back. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And as we go to Ben in Chicago, how you doing today, Ben?
Okay, thanks for taking my call. I was wondering if we could talk about the 3D printers. You were right about XONE. Many weeks ago, you said it's going down to 32 when it was at like $50, and we're at 32 now.
Yeah,
any chance for a bounce and get back in it on a short side?
No, I think what's happened, if you've listened to the show this week, is that we've seen these stocks that had the weakest arguments go down the most. They are probably going to be the toughest shorts over the next 30, 60, 90 days. What you want to look at is the next rotation of stocks that probably have been pushed up to their highs. I actually picked one yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. But there were several of them that were hanging up there at highs with very light volume, or that had just run all the shorts out and there wasn't much out there. I actually picked up one, but there's lots of sectors out there that they've held up. A few I wouldn't want to be short, but I think, I've hit like 3D Systems twice, X1 a couple of times, hit the Voxel Jet, VJet, another one in that sector. But I think, while you can still make money on these, probably the easy money's out and the wild moves are probably coming back in. So that's what you really need to be watching out for in this, is that the easiest of that money is gone. So,
what do you mean wild moves?
I mean that these things are going to be hugely short. I bet we're going to get short reading on the 9th or 8th next week, and I bet you're going to see 40 and 50% short interest in these stocks, and they're going to behave a whole lot like BY, not Best Buy. RIM, what is it now? BlackBerry.
JCPenney?
These things are going to go down like BlackBerry went down to like $5, shot up to $10, went back to $5. When they get down to these levels, they are great for intraday trading, but they're pretty horrible for holding on, just because of the enormous short interest. Someone will come out with something midday about VoxelJet turning lead into gold, or there'll be some other BS, right? And that'll get because they're so highly short, it's going to get everybody you want to find the stocks that probably don't have that high of short interest, but are back up at those highs. Especially ABC Downs, where this leg came in. I picked up one of those kind of stocks here in the last day or so, and then it was down fairly decent. Let me look at it here just to see. There we go. Okay, it's off 3.7% already today. But there are a bunch of these stocks that have broken these higher trading ranges where these things got clobbered, have come back up, filled most of the gap. You can take some of those. But as that stock came back up off the bottom, what happened is a lot of those shorts covered or got squozen out. Is that a word? Squozen? Anyway, they were squeezed out. And once all those shorts are out, they're squeezed out. Once all those shorts are out, you can take it again. But you need to see that light volume back up at the top of the gap. And there are a bunch of those stocks I've been putting in my newsletter all week long that probably are rolled over or have rolled over pretty hard. So that, I'd look at the energy sector. I think we're probably going to see the energy sector crack on Monday, and some of these other sectors. So I think there's still time. But if a stock's already come down, 50% and hasn't bounced already, got a nice bounce out of it to take another shot at it, I'm not going to be piling on here down at the bottom. Does that make sense? Is he gone? Okay. So hopefully, Ben, we can find some other ones out there. I think they are going lower. It's just going to be very hard to keep a short in any of those particular ones, just because of the super high short interest. If you have nerves of steel and ice water in your veins, probably not a bad one. You can be like Ben and give me a call at 877-927-6648. Anyway, we were talking about Flash Boys. Boy, I'm almost out of time again in this segment. We'll get back to this, but if you did watch any of that on Tuesday, the argument between the IEX and the BATS CEOs, they basically had to, under pressure from the Attorney General, actually come and say something about that and apologize. So we'll get into this when we come back from this break. Anyway, you can be like Ben. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Harmony Gold. For more information, just click the Harmony Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
We've got a caller on the line, which we'll go to in just 1 second. I wanted to finish up this Flash Boys stuff, but under the pressure from from the New York Attorney General's office, basically O'Brien, no relation to our O'Brien here at TFNN, had to issue a statement late yesterday stating that two facts of his exchanges currently use the NASDAQ Securities Information Processor, aka the SIP, which is slower than the direct feeds from the major exchanges, although they plan to transition off the SIP in the coming months. And so the whole thing is, if they're using are they working with and helping out high-frequency traders? And the answer truly was that BATS was. If you saw that interview, you almost watched the guy melt down on television compared to the IEX guy, who probably knows that he's got the at least the angel side of this argument for the moment. Anyway, we're going to go to Mike in Lakewood, California. Okay. How you doing today, Mike?
Oh, pretty good. Actually having a good day for a change.
Okay. So
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So what do you want to look at today?
Yeah, I've actually bought puts this morning on open table when it was much higher.
Yep.
So now I'm trying to get a handle on what you think Grub, which was the new issue I'm sure you know about,
right.
I think you already mentioned, what that will do to open table. Some of the commentators on CNBC were saying that there are different echelons or levels of the market, so that the Grub probably won't affect open table, but I don't think that's true. But
I think it will, but minorly. I don't think it's as big as issue as you thought. A lot of the money, if it already came out of OpenTable to go in to Grubhub, and to me, the bigger problem would be whether or not that whole thing falls out of bed and guilt by association takes OpenTable down. I don't like. Let me put it this way. I think that there were better trades out here this morning. I don't think this is a bad trade. I just think that there maybe are better trades out here halfway in the trading zone. But I think you're probably good to $70 on this thing.
Okay, well that helps me very much. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
You bet. And just like I said, it's not right now. You can probably swing a dead cat around and not hit anything that isn't shortable. But it's going to. The question is this going to be where you get your best bang for the buck. We're going to Roger in Mount Vernon, Washington. How you doing today, Roger?
Pretty good. Finally got a ray of sunshine here. So
well, we've got nothing but sunshine down here.
I know. Don't rub it in, please.
So, what are we looking at today?
I'm wondering about CMG, Chipotle, Mexico. And, I'm looking at a gap back on somewhere around the end of January.
Yeah, the 31st.
Yeah. And this thing is getting, fairly close to it, I guess you might say.
Yeah, it's going to probably come back into that $500 range and fill that gap.
Okay.
So
that's what I was kind of wondering.
Are you shorted already?
No, not already.
See, here's the problem I have with this is they're already running around building stories to keep this thing up. It's going to take a long time before they distribute it at this level. But they're already pushing stories about drive-thrus, about local delivery, and a bunch of things that probably won't work for this company because of the price of their food. Or at least hasn't been tested, let me put it that way. But I don't know how many people are going to want to pay $30, $35 to get food delivered from, or at least Mexican food delivered. Some of the delivery stuff like pizza and Chinese food, pretty cheap to begin with. But, you get food that's $8, $10 for a single person. And you probably have a $30, $35 order if you get a small family. And
well, I know some of those restaurants, you have to have a certain amount of, they will deliver orders over to people. So.
Sorry, it sounded like you were talking at the bottom of the lake. What'd you say?
I just said that a lot of these restaurants that deliver, they won't deliver an order unless it's like above $30.
Okay. I'm just thinking, though, in comparison to something like drive-in pickups like at Olive Garden, that kind of stuff. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't deliver. No one else has tried at that price range other than really pizza places. I mean, it's probably different if you're in New York City. But if you're in Tampa, they normally won't deliver pizza more than about 10 minutes away from the actual facility itself. And that's what becomes a problem. When I look at these, the whole story of putting in drive-thrus becomes rather problematic when I look at all their locations, none of which would work for a drive-thru. But that kind of disinformation, always good to start pushing out when the market's pulling back and telling everybody how they have to buy this thing. So you're trying to buy it when it comes back down or short it now?
Well, I'm thinking about, I'm not going to short it today.
Right.
Maybe take a look at it Monday and see what's up. But I'm just looking at that gap,
I think it's going to get filled. But again, I think that there are a lot of stocks out here that haven't pulled back already. I had a bunch of them in my newsletter this morning. When you look at things like Alliance Tech Systems, this thing's got a reversal up here at the top instead of, half of the meat of the trade already gone. This thing tested the February 3rd high that had almost 1 million shares, and we've got about 230,000 shares. Not saying particularly take this one, but there are a bunch of stocks out here that haven't given up 2 or 3. Well, let me put it this way: 50% of the first leg down already. Now, there's still probably a lot of meat in a 50-point gap down there. I'm just thinking that they're probably maybe easier trades than these ones that have already rolled over.
Yeah, well, I know I tried to short ISRG. ICPT.
ICPT.
And yeah, I could. There weren't shares to short. So in some instances, I think you run into that. You know.
Is this? Were there any? Well, it's a pharmaceutical stock. So yeah, and no options either that you could afford. So yeah, on that biotech, the only easy play on that thing was the IBB, and of course it's getting smoked again today. So these are problematic trades to get into, and I've pretty much been shorting since late Wednesday, and you have to get these positions kind of, especially in the options. You have to get these. You have to anticipate the market, which is very hard to do. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's a problem I had too with the IBB. Now it looks like it's. You think some of these will start bouncing?
Yeah, I think you're going to get bounces out of these ones that have come down first, like the IBB, and then you're going to get an opportunity to go back and hit it again. And so, you're probably going to. You've got kind of a nice little bounce down here to about 220. Probably going to see 220 Monday morning, I imagine. And, just start using your ABCs back here. Just know that a lot of these things are going to be highly short. You're going to get a lot of spikes. And probably, unless you're sitting in front of a machine, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, that I was trying to get, we've been short, not Panera, we've been short Pandora in the Tech Insider. And we covered, I wanted to try to get this thing. This thing bounced, and I had about 10 minutes to get short when this thing went above 33 bucks. And that was it. You didn't have a lot of time to get in and out. I think that's going to be kind of the pattern of a lot of these stocks. They're going to move so fast that it's going to make your head spin, and you're going to have to probably have your order in to get these shorts when they spike. But the spikes probably won't last a whole long. So, but they will spike, and you'll get that chance to get back in. But I'm saying right now that, like this one, got down to 29.25, and you'd have to ride it back up to 33.70. You could have probably stopped out if you would have been short, even though you were short on the wrong side, right side of this thing at 34 bucks. You may have blinked, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing is I think we've got these stocks that have already come down, and in this case, off 25% from the high.
Like PCLN, for example.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking at that. PCLN. Yeah, this thing's been destined to do it, but it's already, you basically had your opportunity out here 2 days ago. A lot of these stocks were already starting to roll over. And I started taking the stocks late Wednesday, added more yesterday, and today I went after the S&P. So I think we've got a good market out here, and at least the risk reward doesn't get any better here, at least on some of these indexes. But I think you're going to see some. To me, this market looks a whole lot like 2000. Not quite as bad, but I think you're going to see a lot of people pile in to these NASDAQ stocks, and you're going to get some really huge, very fast counter moves in the market. And you're going to have, like I said, nerves of steel to pull the trigger on these things, but you're also going to probably have to be right in front of the monitor to catch them, because they're not going to last a long time.
Yeah. How long do you generally figure as far as,
I think the first leg's going to...
Day?
Huh?
A day?
For what?
To watch these bounce and then...
No, you're going to get about 3 or 4 days like this one did, like Priceline. You're going to get 3 or 4 days. You're going to see the volume very weak. You're going to see very, very high short interest rates. And again, like I said, you're going to start, I think it's either the 8th or the 9th is the next reporting day for short interest. And that's going to be short interest for, I think, last Monday. And that's going to give you a really good idea of if people piled into these stocks short, then there are probably going to be even more shorts that jumped in on the way down. And those guys will be the weakest hands. And you want to wait for those guys to scream uncle. And then when they do, then you want to go back short. But these things are going to have high short interest. And on these bounces, a lot of people are going to cover their shorts. and gets squoze out, as I like to say. And when they squeeze out, when they blink, when the shorts blink, that's going to be the signal to go back and get into these things on the way down. But price line, you basically had what let's look at the retracement out here. What was it? Well, you almost got it better than the 50%, almost a 618 retracement on this thing. What would that have been? A little bit much. I'm sitting about 4 feet back from the monitor, so it's hard for me to see, but let me zoom in just a little closer and see whether I can see it here. Well, I guess 618 would have been about 1290, 1295, something like that. It got to 1276, got over that 50. But I think yesterday would have been the day when you saw, especially I saw the weakness in the market and volume incredibly low. I probably, if I was going to pull the trigger on it, I would have done it yesterday.
Yeah.
So look at these for models, because this isn't going to be the only time you see these. If we are pulling back to at least probably 1670, I think is the first leg down, if this is the correction that we've been looking for. And everything in the volume, everything is set at, of course, we've seen it 3 times at 1840, at 1868, and now at 97 today. So maybe they've got one last trick, but I don't think there's any better risk reward than you're going to get right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've closed under 1868. I think we're going to close under 1868. So that's it.
It's 1864 now. So.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. That magic number was been 1868. A close under that, I think, is going to confirm the downside on this market. And probably the infotainment cable stations tonight, I'm going to get a good read on it about how much screaming and wailing and end of the world discussions there are tonight. And then look for Monday morning for all the reasons that you should buy this dip. I think we're gonna have a manic depressive press out here that's just gonna keep people just churning. And I mean, when you get 250 million shares in the first 30 minutes of trading, like yesterday or in the days before, to me, I had to be short going into this announcement this morning. So I gave up maybe a couple of points on a few of them, but I got it back in total spades today, and I probably got awful close to the top in picking the index is at least for the S&P 500. We were already short the technology in the Tech Insider, so yesterday. So pretty good. I think pretty good performance anyway for both my newsletters.
Yeah. Well, ISRG is interesting too.
Yeah, I was looking at that thing. I'm thinking this is one I'm talking about of just how you get everybody. Oh, I didn't get it all. ISRG. How you get everybody to blink, and then you get the reversal almost instantly. My guess is that this thing probably going to come right back down to about $470. You want to hang on through the break, or are we done?
No, that's good. I'll give somebody else some time. But yeah, I see a gap there too.
Yeah,
so
I think you're probably headed back down to that gap and confluence, which is about 470 on this thing. Anyway, we'll be back in just a minute.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
And as we come back, boy, this is going to be an interesting market, watching the close here. And, of course, we've got a lot of stuff coming up here on TFNN. A little bit of hike, calling an audible here at TFNN. Looks like Basil will be in for the 4 to 6 o'clock hour, and you're going to get a double shot of Basil. So it'll be a very interesting day out here, and Basil will be in the hizzy to give you the straight scoop, the skinny on the end of the day. So I won't be doing my Tech Insider bit today, but I will be back next week for that. So I'm off early this week, and of course I'll drive on home and listen to the close as we go on. So going to be an interesting day. Anyway, like I said, there are a lot of stocks out here that have hit highs and on light volume. And, just how many of these are out here. I've got a ton of them in the newsletter last few days. If you were looking to take a test drive of my newsletter, the daily newsletter, this would probably be a good time to get and look through the last few days where we were showing all these stocks hitting highs on very light volume. A couple of them went the other way, but they had earnings coming out. But as far as stocks like this, it just doesn't get any easier than BE Aerospace, which I showed in my newsletter yesterday. This thing had 6.1 million shares on November 26th. It came in yesterday, 2 days ago, with 830,000 shares, so less than 1/6 of the volume. Going to be awful tough in these last few days to not figure out that you had some nice moves to the downside setting up in a lot of these stocks. See if I have anybody in here. Okay, just checking the den to see whether or not there was anybody in there looking at anything else. One I didn't get that I wanted to get this morning, and it kind of pretty much rotated yesterday before I had a chance to get in it. I didn't chase it. But here's a good example of what I was talking about. Not the stock that I actually shorted, although I would have liked to. But these stocks coming down on heavy volume that have already basically blown apart, like Mattel. This thing came down with heavy volume on the 31st of the year with 20 million shares. It came back, it tried to fill most of that gap yesterday, but of course on 3.1 million shares. So, you know, these are just too easy trades not to make money on. And if you're especially fairly new, this is what you want to be looking at. Either highs being tested with lighter volume, or huge gap downs once again being tested with lighter volume. There's a lot in and out here. Like I said, a target-rich environment. You can't swing a dead cat around your head without hitting at least a few of these things because they're all over the place. But find stocks that are either starting their next leg down in an ABC like Mattel, or getting ready and giving you a good test of the top like we've seen in these other stocks that I've shown. Anyway, we will be back Monday. Same bat channel, same bat time. And I'm just going to remind you, like I said in the last few days, sell when you can, not when you have to. And that's pretty much all I got to say. That's all. Like what was his name? Forrest. That's all I got to say about that. You have a wonderful and great weekend. Hang on for Basil in about an hour for the double shot, an espresso of radio, financial radio. We'll say that. Anyway, see you Monday.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV. The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's Nico DeHaan, Paige Clark here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Hi, Paige.
Hi, Nico.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah,
Happy spring, everybody. I hope you're getting some beautiful weather where you are. Although today I was talking with people, and I was talking to someone with a cell phone company, and they're up in Niagara. She said miserable weather.
Well, it's 75 here and mostly sunny.
So come see us.
Yeah, people are heading for the beach today. It's beautiful out there.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of tough where we're at, too, because the TFNN office is right downtown Clearwater, just right a block from the
well, you
road
look
over
out the
to
window
beach.
and you can see the Intercoastal Waterway, and it's a beautiful thing for sure. Folks, the number here is 877-927-6648. Please give us a call with your questions, or if you'd like to make a comment on the show. Also, my Health Signals newsletter is out, and
Brand new issue.
Yeah, it's only $10 a month. You get 2 issues a month for that $10 on, and you get it on the first and third Friday of every month. So on today's issue, I wanted to cover one main thing was in primal exercise, which is on page 19. It's about women, weight loss in modern America, and a world in need of revolution. And this is not only important for women, of course, but men too, and how we look at exercise and how we look at diet. And I think it's very important to realize that what you hear on TV, what you hear on the radio and all these ads is really not the truth about exercise and about how it affects your weight loss.
And you know where I really started to think about this kind of a concept, because, I'm a woman.
Yes.
And I'm a little woman, so I gain weight, as you can tell. It doesn't take much to show. I don't have as much leeway as a taller statured person. But this article really hit on some good points about the stress-inducing issue of calorie deprivation and also of too intensive exercise that creates the environment where we produce a lot of oxidative stress, which is aging to the body, and also the cortisol hormone release that happens when we tend to stress ourselves out with too much exercise.
Yeah, and also, of course, if you're doing the same type of exercise all the time, what happens is you're also stressing various joints over and over again. So you may be, if you're doing long-distance running, if you're doing activities like that, it's more of a sport than it is an exercise as far as I'm concerned. So you may be doing low-grade damage over a long period of time, which starts to show up in your 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Absolutely, and we talked about that one time on one of our shows. Many of you that have watched may remember Nico and I Googled the marathon runner versus the sprinter, and we took the pictures side by side, and we looked at these runners, and I think they were around the same age, and we saw the difference in the body composition.
The sprinter is cut. It's got more body mass up
has
on
body
top.
mass, muscle mass, healthy-looking skin. The skin is draped over the muscles. The marathon runner looks stressed. The skin is saggy. The muscle tone is not there. And I'm not saying this is a general rule, but when you start to see this pattern happen for people that stay in a mode of a high-stress exercise.
Well, I was a runner for many years, for over 30 years. I did some marathons. I did mostly mid-range, 15 miles, 10 miles, that type of stuff in the races that I did. But as the years went on, I could really feel the difference. I switched my philosophy when I started the primal thinking and looked into wearing different shoes, because your running shoes, of course, are lifted, so it forces you into a heel strike, which is really not the natural way of running. And so I changed what I was doing, started off really slow, which you have to because you're using different muscles. But now I'm doing sprinting, and a lot of times on a trampoline. And only for 30 seconds to a minute, most, with a little bit of rest in between. My whole workout lasts about 10, 15 minutes.
Well, you're kind of like a tiger. Because you know what tigers do? Tigers sprint. They run and sprint, then they lay around and they stretch.
Perfect, and I love that. Laying around is good too.
That's our new thing.
So the whole the thing that the media really tries to tell us about exercise is this is how you lose weight. And I'm telling you, this is the wrong way to look at it.
This is not how you lose weight.
No,
this is how you tell your body you're in stress.
Diet.
Right.
That's it.
Lifestyle eating.
Exactly, and preferably primal type of lifestyle eating. I think it's very important to look at diet from a standpoint of how our species evolved over years and years, and what our ancestors were really doing to the types of food that we're eating.
Right. So. And you know, when I said that about diet, I have a new philosophy now.
Okay.
You know, after, you know, I always look at kind of what's happening on Dr. Oz in the context of how we phrase things. But, you know, when Dr. Joel Fuhrman, who's a big China study, don't eat animal meat guy, was on there, I try and look at it and how I would preface this. But his message was good. He says, no diets work. We need to get rid of the word diet. So
it's how you eat.
It's how you eat. And unfortunately, some of us use that synonymously, but it's not. A lot of people take the word diet to mean something that's restrictive, or I'm going to do this diet, the cabbage diet,
and also in a small time frame. You know, you're going to do it for 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year, and then you go back to normal, and that doesn't equate with me, because there's just only one way of eating. It's how you eat every day is what counts.
That's what really counts. I agree with you. And then particularly sometimes we need to do cleansing regimes.
No doubt.
We should encourage our body to cleanse every day. So, you know, they hinted at this in this article. Just one more little point was the fact that we, you know, are eating too many meals. You know, we're just eating constantly around the clock.
Right.
And what I like is an idea that we limit the hours that we actually eat.
Okay.
So, and this is appealing to me a lot. For example, and we kind of do that by way of just having our Tiger Brew, you know, with our collagen, our butter, and our coconut oil, and our coffee. Kind of string that into the morning. You're getting your fat, a little bit of protein, but you're not having this huge meal to digest.
Right.
And eating like the king king at noon, you know, kind of having a nice lunch, maybe a later midday meal, and then your dinner meal a little lighter, maybe a smoothie of something, so that you maximize the hours of fasting, so to speak.
Yeah, the way I kind of do it, Paige, is I have my normal breakfast, which is a couple of eggs, some kind of meat, and then at the very end of that, I have my coffee, my Tiger Brew, and that consists of, you know, some really great organic coffee, medium roast, sometimes dark roast, mostly espresso. And I put my MCT oil in it. I put a ton of butter in it. I've been going up to 2 fingers of butter. So that's a lot of butter. And lately I've been adding the collagen like you suggested. And the collagen is really nice because it thickens it just a little bit. It makes it really like a Frappuccino. But what happens, of course, along with the fat, you're getting that little bit of great protein that the collagen has.
Right.
Really for your skin and for your hair, for your bones. Really good.
It's like drinking bone broth because it has the glycine amino acids.
Yeah,
so that's why we
and the other thing is that now I'm not hungry at all. I mean, I go swing through. Well, I didn't eat anything before I came here, so I still had the breakfast and my my Tiger Brew in, and that's it. And I'm going up, and you know, now it's going to be 2 o'clock by the time I get home. I probably will have another cup of coffee until dinner time, and that'll be enough for me. And I'm a high active guy. Right. I'm doing lots of things, and my weight hasn't shifted, nothing, and I feel really good. And what I noticed, too, with this whole regime that you really put together for me is that it makes me more alert, makes me more calm, it just makes me feel so darn good. I don't know what else to say about it. It's
well,
just
it's when
really
we're
good.
choosing the right foods that aren't modified by nature, and I think we're really, you know, trying to share that with people. But I'm going to extrapolate on this idea.
Okay.
So in other words, if I expand the fasting, in other words, from the last meal at night to the sleep, and then wake up in the morning, and if I can extend that time before I take a heavy meal. So what I'm saying is I'm trying something new for me, is just saying, what if it's closer to the noon hour before I have my breakfast, so to speak. But then I have my lunch at like, you know, say it's like 11 and it's like 3 or 4, and maybe I have dinner at 7. I'm going closer to 16 to 18 hours
which is very good.
Of fasting. So I'm cleansing every day by way of, and really trying to make my noon meal my heavier meal. Ideally, you want to eat your heavier fat foods between the hours of 10 and 2, guys, because that is when the gallbladder is most active in producing the bile-emulsify fats.
And I really, my meals have really gotten lighter. I have less protein in my meals than I have.
Exactly.
I think because I'm satisfied with all the fat, the healthy fat that I'm putting in. I've even called my purveyor for my pork, and I told him, don't trim it so much. Last time I got pork, it was trimmed a little too much. My
That
wife was
probably
saying,
shocks him because most people probably want him to
yeah,
trim it
exactly.
off.
He said, yeah, no problem. I do it. Now, there's a question in the chat room. Hi, Paige.
Oh, hey there, Mike. Thank you for the cleanse. What is this collagen you guys are adding to your coffee, and where do you get it? Okay, so what we do is, in addition to having our Tiger Brew, which is the medium-chain triglycerides or coconut oil, grass-fed butter, Kerrygold, Silver Label is one that we like,
Yeah,
or pastured,
no salt in it, right.
or pastured butter that you might like.
Or maybe even raw butter if you got that.
Yeah, raw butter if you're part of a co-op. So in other words, good healthy butter from grass-fed cows, or grass-fed cream. But I add gelatin to
bone broth type of gelatin.
Really, what it is remember how we always talk about everyone should be making a bone broth, and if we were really doing what we should do, is we would have a bone broth simmering on the back of the stove every day and drinking a cup of the bone broth. And the way to make bone broth is you get certain cuts of meat, the bones, chicken's feet, knuckles, and it's an art, guys. It's an art to make a bone broth.
It's really easy to do. I've done it a dozen times, and it's so easy.
Yeah.
I have my customers coming in. Please bring me some.
So, Mike, there's different gelatins that you can buy in different stores. You can buy that from me in the office. Just you guys come in, I'll get you some.
Yeah, you use Great Lakes gelatin, which has two types.
All right, so my favorite brand of late is Great Lakes Gelatin, and they make two forms. A red label that really turns into a gelatinous form, and then they have the hydrolysate gelatin, which is in the green label.
Which doesn't gel up
And
at
it
all.
doesn't gel up. So literally, it's a way that I sneak in with every tablespoon. It's about 6 grams of protein. But the protein matrix, or the amino acid matrix, is the complete opposite of what you see typically in the meat part of animals. It's what you get if you get the bones and the fat and the collagen, particularly high in glycine, glutamine, healing to the gut, like bone broth. So because so many of us are not drinking bone broth, including myself, the way I should.
This is a good substitute.
Yeah, this is the way I get it in. I get it in every day. It's part of my coffee. I use the green label personally because I like it not being gel thick.
Yeah, and I use a product from Now, which is beef gelatin, and it doesn't gel up, but it thickens slightly. So.
And you can't taste it, guys.
No,
and if you
no,
want
no
to, you
taste
can
at all.
put it into a drink. And we'll show you another drink after the break. I'll show you something else I put it in.
There you go. Okay.
Sneak it in. Okay, we'll be back.
Okay, the number is 877-927-6648. Please take time to look at the newsletter, the brand new one, and click on it and get it so it's streaming up to you right now. We'll be right back.
See that.
You've heard Nico DeHaan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different future contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a free 2-week trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technamental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technamental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back. I'm Paige Clark, and this is Nico DeHaan, and we're living a private lifestyle, and we hope you are too. And we're here to help you get back to the important things, the primordial sources of health.
There you
go.
I
love that word. You
yes,
know me and my words. Primordial. If you look at the word primordial, you'll see the word immortal in there.
There, yeah.
Hey, we were just talking. We had Mike call in and was asking us why we add collagen to our Tiger Brew coffee. And it's a sneaky way to get in a little protein. So if you stop and you think about it, if you start your day and you don't have a chance to get something else, you've gotten your healthy fat with your coconut oil and your grass-fed butter. You've also gotten 6-7 grams of protein from the form that's very gut healing and a form that you don't get from your regular animal foods, and you're ready to start your day. So,
and then what this does too, it really promotes the thinness type of bacteria, that the bacteria wants you to be thin, and it actually downplays the bacteria that wants you to be fat.
That's exactly right.
So, I mean, this is a really, really important thing. You're having the coffee, you're having great antioxidants, you're having the fat that you really need for your brain, for all your activities, for your cells to open up to accept all these nutrients that you have. And now we add the protein in, just a little bit of maybe 8 grams of protein per serving. And now you've got the protein you need for your hair, your skin, and your bones. It's actually a superfood all in one right there.
And we're going to be introducing another source. We're going to try and package this for you guys, and so it'll help support our show, and it'll make it easy for you to understand the different ways we're experimenting. But I also drink it in some cool beverages. That's why I use the one particular source that I do, because it can work in either a hot or cold beverage, and it's delicious, and it's a great way to get some good nutrition.
So we're trying to set up this stuff. We have a new product coming out, we hope by the beginning of May, which is what we've been talking about, an all-inclusive liquid that you can take for all your vitamins, minerals, amino acids.
We have so many good things set up, and we hope you guys will join us, support us, because we spend a lot of time trying, finding things. The things we share with you are the things that we use and recommend to our family, friends, and so forth. And so we hope you
And you'll find a lot of information in the newsletter, of course. Please pick that up. And, of course, you can call us at 877-927-6648.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, to answer questions. And one of the things that we were talking about, what are some top reasons why you might want to integrate incorporate wheatgrass or some of these super grasses
and
into your
Tom
diet.
and Allie were talking about this on the show this past Wednesday on Mindful Living, and it's important to realize this stuff is easy to get, but you have to get it from a good source, and it's even easy to grow yourself.
It is, and wheatgrass is something that cultivates, you get a little ledge and you grow it in the small little boxes. They're flat trays.
Right.
And you can harvest
grow
your own
them indoors,
wheatgrass.
outdoors. It doesn't really matter. You don't want it in direct sunlight, but you want it to get some light.
Right.
It's really, one thing that we talk about in this whole scheme of things is that these wheatgrass, of course, are the sprouts of the grass.
Correct.
And any sprout of any kind of vegetation has 50 or 60 times more than the plant
itself.
The
power to raise a plant, the power to grow a tree, if you stop and you think of it.
Exactly. So that's why it's important when we want to get these nutrients into us. It's very easy to do it with sprouts and wheatgrass and things like that.
And it only takes 7 to 10 days to have a tray going. So you have one tray going, you harvest that, and then you have another tray. But for those of you that may not have the time to do that, we have a favorite wheatgrass or greens mix that we think incorporates some of the best strains. Another key point is there are places that, if you go and get a shot of wheatgrass at a health food store, it's kind of pricey.
Yeah, and also it depends on their storage.
Right.
Whether you're getting kind of mold. We talked about mold before, and it's the mold that it grows on this wheatgrass also grows on your grains. It grows on beans. It grows on coffee. So you have to be careful of the sources to get these these things.
So I have 2 favorite sources,
okay,
and so we're going to make those available to you. In the meantime, until we can get things going, just contact me at paige@tfnn.com, and we'll get you set up so you can get some good wheatgrass.
Yep.
But the top reasons that you want to add wheatgrass is it's highly nutritional, to add to your regular diet. In fact, wheatgrass, I do a little special program where I add wheatgrass and a special pollen, and as far as I'm concerned, there's no, it's one of the best all-inclusive nutritional products that I add for people. It's just kind of easy to add to your diet. You don't need a lot after
there's a couple of good companies out there that also make the powder that you can just add it to things.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I have, so right now, if you're near a great store that makes wheatgrass, treat yourself to a shot a couple times a week or daily. Grow your own daily.
Yeah.
But if not, we're going to provide, when we get this new resource page up, we're going to share with you our favorites. And of course, I like Premier Research's Greens Mix. It has wheatgrass and it also has a special grass that helps grow healthy hair. If you take a tablespoon of that, you can just regrow. You won't lose your hair. I bet you a lot of people like that.
I'm for that. 877-927-6648 is the number. Please give us a buzz and pick up my Health Signals newsletter, and Paige and I will be back right after the break. Stick around.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. And Paige, you know, we have been talking a lot about different things, and one of the big topics is how to cleanse yourself and all about detox. And I've got a picture up here on some foods. And, you know, these... You know,
it's that time of year.
Well, it is that time of year because the spring makes me think about cleansing.
Yes.
Spring cleaning.
Spring cleaning for our houses, spring cleaning for our minds, and spring cleaning for our bodies.
This is what I want you to think about when you see vegetables and herbs and wheatgrass. I want you to think about cleansing your body, about getting rid of the toxins. And this is why vegetables and fruits and things are here.
Exactly.
If you do them on a seasonal basis or just rotate them, that you're not eating the same darn thing every day, I think you're going to really benefit your body. Because there's a lot of signs out there that we have in this modern age that kind of tell us you need to cleanse yourself.
Right, and just like we said in the last segment, there's a way we are designed to be self-cleansing organisms.
Of course.
And in fact, if we are properly maintaining our equipment, that should happen naturally. And if we cleanse, we increase the ability to cleanse. We cleanse when we sleep. If we increase the amount of time between when we take food, like I said, decreasing the hours that we eat to an 8-hour window, giving us 16 or so hours of cleansing. Figure that out. You know, the last time you eat is 6 at night. You don't really eat anything till 11. Maybe sip on a little coffee, you know, with Tiger Brew.
Perfect breakfast is what we were talking about with the Tiger Brew.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, for most of us, remember, calorie depletion can be very stressful in the body, but reducing the caloric intake but increasing the nutrient density is the goal.
Well, yeah, if you're on a fat-burning diet like we are, Paige, then your body doesn't get stressed from decreasing your calories and having that break.
Reserve.
Because we're burning, you know, all the body wants to do is have fuel. On a sugar diet, you cannot do that. On a grain diet, you cannot do it because you run out of fuel in a couple of hours. With a fat-burning diet, you have enough to last you 3, 4, 5 days.
So let's get back to a little comment about springtime cleaning. As you know, we really believe that we should follow kind of more of a internal wisdom and a nature wisdom of following the seasons. And spring is one of the seasons we need to cleanse. All the seasons, there's a certain part of the body that is more featured in that time of year naturally, and the spring is the time of the liver and the gallbladder. And so we want to get all that going, and we've been storing some more fat during the winter. We want to get our bile. We don't want beef jerky bile, as we call it. We don't want it to be thick. We want it to be nice and liquid and emulsify the fats so we can start to get rid of that storage and go with our cleansing vegetables, our citrus. And so this is a great time to do a cleanse.
Yeah, and some of the signs for needing a cleanse are pretty much, if you look at the ads on TV, do you feel constipated? Are you low on energy? Sexual dysfunction, whatever that is.
Brain fog? Are you depressed?
Exactly. All these things,
overweight?
and that what they have little pills for is really your body telling you, why don't you do a little cleanse here so I can open up some pores.
Do a little maintenance.
So constipation is one.
Trouble sleeping, we just went over.
Brain fog, unable to focus.
Unexplained headaches, sexual dysfunction.
Trouble sleeping.
Stiffness.
That's the opposite of sexual dysfunction. And unexplained headaches, unexplained soreness and stiffness. A lot of people think, well, I'm going to the gym, so I must be sore. Perhaps not. Perhaps you're doing too much.
Yeah, you're producing a lot of lactic acid, and your body has the inability to get rid of it. So the nice thing is that food is our medicine, and we can use our foods to cleanse. And although we want to kind of be mindful that spring is the season of these organ glands, we're welcome to cleanse all of our organs and glands, but a lot of the fruits and vegetables that we see really are tonifying for those particular organs and glands. And I think we went over that last week, and anyone who gets the newsletter will see that.
No doubt about
those veggies, you want to pick that up.
One of the big signs that many people have is skin problems and allergic reactions to even the seasons, to trees and things like that. So if you've got skin problems, your diet is not correct in the first place.
And let me add to that, eye problems. And as we mentioned, in Chinese medicine, we know that the liver and the eyes and the skin are connected. So if you're having rashes or breaking out, and that the liver sometimes says, guys, I'm overwhelmed. I really can't deal with these toxins. So we get these hay fevery eyes, we get these red itchy eyes, we get red itchy skin. The body is going to use these other methods to help detoxify things. So,
and then another good sign that you need to detox is because you're overweight.
Yes.
Because, everything that's toxic is going to be stored in those fat cells. So if you're overweight, you've probably got a lot of toxicity. Be careful how you empty those toxins out of your body, because it does have a detrimental effect in the beginning. So you have to be aware of these cycles that your body goes through when you've got toxins. But
and it's very important to make sure that we have to make sure that all of our eliminatory organs are functioning well together. One of the cleanses that I use in my office to help clients, encourage them and empower them to have a more successful cleanse, incorporates well-crafted herbs that are supporting all of the eliminative organs at the same time. We're supporting colon movement, we're supporting whole body detox, then lymph channels, so important. The liver and the kidneys, and we don't want any of those organs, as we're trying to cleanse, to be overburdened by the removal of these toxins. So
agreed.
Make sure to, when you do work, if you want some help with a detox program, I have lots of different programs. I try and work for what I think is going to work with people with their lifestyle. Some people don't mind doing capsules. Some people like to do tinctures. Some people like doing foods.
Well, there's a lot of options. That's the great thing about it. And the one thing I like about your practice page is you've got all these options available, and you kind of tailor-make them to your clients. So that's beautiful.
And it's so much fun, you know, and you really actually, going to be working more and more with the food healing and creating certain little healing recipes and remedies and rituals and stuff. So I'm excited about that. But this is a great time, everybody. In addition to these seasonal cleanses, there might be a couple of ways that we can increase our daily cleansing ability. We mentioned that, narrowing the amount of time that you're actually digesting food, increasing the amount that you're cleansing and repairing, and maybe some, just like we talk about doing intermittent sprinting exercise, which we believe is so powerful for stimulating the body's growth hormone and healthy building athletically, maybe this intermittent fasting, but with some tools that maybe are as ancient as we can imagine, that can help us, and maybe integrating a 3-day fast that includes some tonics that help us move things. So I'm doing that personally. We're going to talk to you about that soon.
Yeah, and the oil pulling. Don't forget your oil pulling. In fact, I called my wife this morning to remind her of we got a little. We were going to do a little celebration this weekend. So, but I get on the phone and call her, and she says, I says, oh, you're oil pulling? She says, I says, okay, I'll talk to you later. I love you. You know, so
exactly. It's part of our group, guys. If everybody would start oil pulling morning and night, it's so easy. I do it while I'm reviewing my emails. It's just, it's something that you can do, and there's nice little things you can add, little spices. I like to add little clove drops.
In my newsletter this week, I've got another article about oil pulling, and because there has been so many questions about it. So
we're going to talk a lot more about self-dentistry. That is a really big thing. I want us to realize the same way that we can do a lot of things to strengthen our teeth and gums. Oil pulling is just one of the little tricks that I have.
And of course, using the collagen in your Tiger Brew is going to be strengthening those teeth.
Strengthening bones. Remember, your teeth are anchored to bones, guys, and we need to have good bone health to have great teeth.
Yeah.
And build good enamel. It's really how we build back tooth enamel.
No. So I read this article here. This was March 31st on Dr. McCullough's site, and talking about Roundup toxicity may impact male fertility. You know, we've got a lot of problems with fertility in the world now, especially in the United States. I know a lot of people that are trying to get pregnant, who are having trouble getting pregnant. When they do get pregnant, they find out their child has autism or something like that. You know, it's really an epidemic now. 1 out of 4 children are coming up with some signs of autism or other brain anomalies. Of course, our older folks are getting Alzheimer's. It's the 3rd cause of death now in the United States, and this all has to do with toxicity, what's in our environment, how it's leaching into not only our food but into us completely.
Take home point, guys. If you, this weekend, if you're a guy or a girl and you have a home and you go out there in your garage or your shed and you see Roundup in your place, please dispose of it, get it out of your house, get it out of your life, never buy that product again. Interesting, you know, the word Roundup, but I was at the physician's round table a couple weeks ago, remember?
Yes.
And how wonderful was it that Dr. Stephanie Seneff, who is the MIT researcher who has really put a lot of her energy into vitamin D and the sulfurization and how we really make vitamin D with the sun exposure, but her big passion now is this.
Yeah, the
effect of the glycophosphate on fertility, Alzheimer's, MS, and all of these diseases that we're having. So, you know, we've got to step out, and you know, we've got this information out here in the internet, and it's it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Yeah. Well, it's not just Roundup. Let's get this all out there. It's all the pesticides that we use. It's all the chemicals that we use in cleaning the house, in our laundry. I mean, we're just being impacted from just about every way. I mean, I changed my laundry years ago to Molly Suds. I refrain from using the Roundup, even though it's much easier to use that, especially in the pavers I've got in my front.
Just make some hot boiling water and get a kettle and some salt, and that kills it. Salt water kills it. And
so there's a lot of ways you can circumvent using these products, and I really encourage you to do so, because everybody in the whole neighborhood is using this stuff. They're using it. The cities use it. They spray waterways with different types of Roundup to get the algae out there. Well, the reason the algae is growing because of the fertilizer that's dripping into the pond, which stimulate the algae growth. So it's a vicious circle.
And then we're seeing these frogs with 2 heads and 7 legs and all this stuff. So.
And when do we? Now we're talking about reproductivity in humans and how it impacts. If we see frogs and we see the bees leaving, our environment, what's it doing to us? And we see all these different problems with our generation of human beings being really sick, being deformed, having all kinds of brain diseases. This is not the way it's supposed to be.
No, we have to take it. Just like that wall post I saw of the bee, and it was a close-up of a bee, and it said, if I go, you go.
Yeah.
And we need to take that We need to understand that's serious business, guys. If we allow these toxic chemicals that, and like you said, I mean, we're focusing in on Roundup and the toxicity, but it spans many chemicals, and we just don't need them. There's so many wonderful ways to make home green cleaning solutions. Baking soda, vinegar, and water, and a few essential oils, and you have everything you need.
Yeah. And folks, let me tell you that what you put in your mouth, what you drink and what you eat and what you breathe in is so crucial on how you're going to grow old gracefully and stay healthy. It's so important. Everything that you put in your mouth has a detrimental or a good effect to your body and to your brain. So choose your food very wisely. Don't fall for these commercials about the snack foods that they're introducing, about fast food, about processed foods. I had one of my clients was talking today, and he says, you notice there's no subsidies for good food? There's only substitutes for corn, for vegetable oils, for growing wheat, for doing all these different little things, but there's never a subsidy for raw milk. There's never a subsidy for grass-fed butter. There's never a subsidy for grass-fed beef or anything that's good.
I know, I kind of joke with people sometimes. They'll say, well, which coconut oil should I buy? I say, or which olive oil should I buy? I say, whatever one is the most expensive is the one you want to buy. And I don't mean that, but my point is that, it's going to be the dark bottle. It's going to, and it doesn't always have to be that case, but you see these companies that are getting their products, their toxic, sick products subsidized, and that's why people are buying them, and they're not thinking, soundly about the impact on their health.
Yeah.
We have a little short segment, but I was actually going through something that was on the list to talk about. And do people know why baby carrots are killing you? Do you know?
You've talked to me about it before. So
okay,
I guess
this is the deal, guys. And baby carrots are often old, large carrots that they've taken, grinded up, pressed them together, and then they soak them in chlorine. So scratch that off your list.
Wonder what's happening to the baby tomatoes. I don't know.
Okay,
but that's
so,
I've read that before, and it's really kind of a sick thing. It's kind of like the chicken McNuggets. Shove the whole chicken in there, feathers and all, and what comes out is this pink, slimy stuff, and then we color it and package it and fry it, and now we call them chicken McNuggets.
Yeah, so listen to this. If you look on the package, it doesn't say chlorine because it was added as part of manufacturing and not added as an ingredient. Why is that? Packaged foods contain a lot of chemicals both in the ingredients and the manufacturing process. The tricky part is chemicals added as part of the manufacturing process are not considered to be an ingredient. Therefore, does not have to be listed on the food label. So there you go, folks. Less processing. Grow your own carrots. How long does it take? I don't know. Should ask my dad.
Well, carrots are cheap anyway, so I mean, why you cut your carrots instead of having the baby ones?
I need to post some pictures. We have a family co-op garden.
Okay, cool.
It's really cool.
We'll be back in a few minutes, folks, for the last segment. Stick around. Pick up my Health Signals newsletter, too, please. That was good. I like that.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days, unconditionally, so there's no risk to you, other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Up next, the Diagnostics Trading Hour with Daryl Martin here on TFNN.
And welcome back, guys. This is our last segment, and I want you to know that if any of you have questions after the show and you want to contact me personally, you can reach me at page@tfnn.com.
And that's Page, P-A-I-G-E.
Page at tfnn.com, and you can reach Nico at tfnn.com, and we are always willing to talk with you and help you in your living a primal lifestyle pursuit. So we were talking a little bit about detoxifying today, and we talked about how we're naturally designed. We were so designed to do that and to cleanse, but we need help because we're in a toxic environment. And so we know that we want to increase our body's ability to detoxify daily. We may need to do it monthly, and we certainly need to consider doing it seasonally and with a conscious mind towards the organs and glands that really need that extra help during the season.
And we need to do it daily. And how do we do it daily?
And how can we do it daily? And as we do it, as I mentioned, give yourself proper rest and give yourself time to repair. But there's something that's free, and it's breathing. And that's what Primal Living's about. That's what this show is about.
There's a beautiful picture up here of this girl just breathing.
Take a moment, guys.
And probably breathing to the sun or something.
Yeah, well, she's doing all the right things. I'm sure her feet are standing in bare ground in the grass, and she's grounding, and she's probably praying or meditating or spending a special spiritual moment. She's breathing. She has her chest expanded. I love this picture, and I want you to understand. Forget the prescription drugs. Remember all those symptoms that they're using those symptoms to try and sell you drugs. When these are symptoms that your body is saying, "Help me. I need to get rid of things I don't need. Maybe I need some things that you're not giving me, and I'm stressed out." And that's my whole philosophy. It's just those simple as those three things.
There's a bunch of different types of breathing that they outline. The simple breath, taking 3 deep breaths and exhaling very slowly is one.
And I challenge everybody to do that, and I'm going to really make a more conscious effort myself. If you take a few moments before you eat a meal, take 3 deep breaths, and breathe fully and fully exhale, and give yourself a moment in between, you can really oxygenate and expand those lungs. A lot of lung disease we learned, as I learned in my yoga studies with Ali, is due to not expanding these lungs, not utilizing the bottom of the lungs, and movements can help to expand that.
You know, it's funny, a lot of cultures have, before you eat, you have a moment of silence, or you have a little prayer that you say, and this is, I really believe that in ancient cultures this came about, that just having a little silent time and just simply breathing and giving thanks or whatever you want to do, I think that's an important step into just accepting the meal to your body. It's
exactly. And you know, we have smartphones. If we think we haven't been able to integrate some of these ideas as a habit, why not set an alarm and just say,
time
the
to breathe.
alarm goes off, yeah, just breathe. And take a minute, push back. In fact, if you can, go outside so you can ground.
Oh, yeah.
Get your sun.
Sure. Yeah.
Tie it in with some of those simple things. And
so
these are all things that are free, and we should all be incorporating them into our daily life.
Something called the relaxing breath is lying flat on your back with your knees bent, bringing your feet closer to your buttocks. Place hands on both sides of your navel region. Breathe in slow, deep, rhythmic manner for 20 repetitions. And this is a really getting that diaphragm to do the work for you, which means you've got a complete breath. You're really expanding those lungs and then taking the toxins and letting them breathe out.
Well, this is the point of Dantian, actually, in Chinese and in the world of Qigong, and it's kind of the center of the universe, so to speak, the center of the spiral. Think of the belly button. And so anytime we're thoughtful while we're breathing and sealing this area, it's a good move.
Yep.
And Ujjayi breath is victorious breath that we practice in a yoga practice. And you can simply do this by sitting in a comfortable position and inhaling through the nose, lifting your chest and holding it for 2 seconds while exhaling through the nose. And Ujjayi breath, we often hear the sound of our own voice, because sound is healing. That's it, guys. We're finished for today.
Boy, you've gone fast.
So have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. In the meantime, make sure you get Living a Primal Lifestyle newsletter. We have great information there available to you with links. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and take your shoes off and relax.
Have a great weekend.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his Opening Call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the Opening Call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.